everyone, I'm Andrea from Too Cool T-Shirt Quilts. This summer I am going to be a vendor at the Ragbrai Expo in Iowa. This is the ride across Iowa. And this is the 51st running of this ride. It's going to be the hilliest one, they say. And at the Expo we're going to be showing off our T-shirt quilts. And I'm also going to make a T-shirt quilt that you will have a chance to enter to win this quilt. And what I've done is I've bought T-shirts from every single town that the ride's going to go through. And I've got the box of T-shirts here, and I've actually not even gone through them. So I'm going to quickly go through them with you, and then we'll talk about what type of quilt and what style of quilt and what we want to do with this quilt. All these shirts are single-sided, and they all have a little bit different design shape. I like this one because it's long and skinny, and that'll give us a nice size block. This shirt I like because it's long and skinny the opposite way, and that'll give us a smaller block. We really want to have all sorts of different size blocks on our quilt because it makes it much more interesting. So here are more. Oh, this is a great one. It's got something on the front and it's got something on the back. Perfect. So I can get 2 blocks out of that, and they'll be different sizes. And these are all the shirts I got. I got a whole box full. Yes, I spent a lot of money on this, but I think it's important. It's important that we go and talk about our T-shirt quilts and our bicycle jersey quilts at this bicycle ride. And it's important that the person who wins this quilt from us gets a really awesome quilt. So our first step after we look at all of these will be to take all the tags off. And then our next step is to throw them in the washing machine. These are all obviously brand new shirts, and we want to make sure that they're clean, shrunk, and that there's no dye that will bleed, especially on the ones that are a little bit more red like this one. So there's all sorts of different shirts. This is going to be so much fun. And as I'm looking at these, I'm thinking to myself, what style of quilt do we want to make? There are 2 styles of quilts that we can choose to make here. We can make our typical T-shirt style, or we can make our stained glass style. And I'm thinking not the stained glass because that one's a lot of work and real expensive to make. So I think we're just going to make a regular one. And then we're going to choose if we want to put a border on this. So first step is going to be to take all these tags off. Second step is to wash them. And then the third step will be to cut them. Kim and I are working on the Ragbrai quilt here, and we're doing math. And math is really hard to see on the computer, but what we're trying to come up with is what size to make the quilt and what actual border we want to use. So we're looking at the numbers, and we have 14 blocks, and it's making a very small quilt. It's making, without a border, a quilt that's just 48 by 52 inches. It's really, really small. So first we decided to add on a 2-inch plus 4-inch plus 2-inch border, and that would make it 64 by 72, which is not a bad size, but you said what?
That's 25% of the quilt is border.
25% of the quilt is border. That's a little much. So then we thought, okay, let's go with the 4-inch piece plus a 2-inch solid border, and that would take it to 60 by 68, which is better.
Yes.
But I was thinking 60 by 72 maybe, because I like that size. That's the multi-use size, my favorite size. So I could add more fillers inside the quilt,
right,
and the same border of 4-inch plus 2-inch. So what do you think? Should we try that?
I think that's the plan. You got lots of colors here.
I got lots of really pretty colors, so I will put more color in the center and a smaller border, and it's going to be a gorgeous quilt. And next, I'm going to lay it out on my computer. Now that we've cut the shirts and we know what size quilt we want, now it's my turn to lay the quilt out. I do this on a computer. I manually move the blocks around, and once all the blocks fit and the design is great, then it's on to laying out the quilt. Once we have the map completed, we go and we assign each block to a spot on the map. And we do that with color crayons. So here we go, let's lay out this quilt. One of the jobs we have after we color in all the spots on the map is to fill in any missing spots. And we do this by cutting out blank blocks from the fabric that's already in the quilt. This is a time lapse of me sewing the quilt top together. I'm really not this fast in real life. Right now, Bryce is cutting all the blocks for the 4-inch piece border. He's pretty quick at it. Now that we have the quilt top finished, I want to work on the border for the quilt. I want to make sure that the colors look really well balanced in the border. And to do this, I turn my phone onto black and white. This lets me see darks and lights and not the colors of the blocks. This way I can make sure that there's not 2 darks in a row or 2 lights in a row. And it's going to look so much better with me spending 10 minutes moving blocks around than if I just went in a pattern or did some other way of choosing which blocks went which place. After Bryce has picked up all the blocks for me, I can get ready to start sewing the border. Here's how quick I can sew that border.
So we are making a quilt for Ragbrai. Is it Ragbrai?
Ragbrai.
Ragbrai. We're making a quilt for them, and it's time to pick thread colors. So I have 3 that pull out colors in the border. This is the backing as well as a 2-inch border, and so I'm trying to decide which one I like the best.
Of course, you know which one Andrea, your mom, likes.
I know, Mother likes this one.
I actually like the mauve.
You like the pink one?
I like the pink one. I think we can't use that one. So
Well, that's also your favorite color.
I know it's my favorite color. So let's eliminate that.
It's also not exactly the right mauve.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but you know, I want it
And
to
my
be...
second choice would be the royal blue.
You like the royal?
And you like the teal blue.
Well, let's look at the quilt. I feel like there is more royal in the quilt because it's got the royal here. But there's the teal and then the pops of teal there.
I know, so it's kind of, it probably doesn't matter one way or the other. So I guess I would say choose what you want, what you like. And we'll just see what it looks like when you're all done. And then we're going to set the camera up over there so that we can do a time lapse of Millie doing the quilting on this. Have fun! The next step is to bind the quilt. The binding covers the raw edges of the quilt and gives the quilt a finished look. The final step is to clean the quilt. We're looking for loose strings, dirt, And we just want to make sure that everything is perfect. If we find anything wrong at this point, we stop and fix it. We finished the Ragbrai quilt. Yay! It is so pretty. I love it. All the different towns that the ride's going to go through in 2024, we have a shirt for them. Let's show them what the back side looks like. And what did Millie do in the back? It looks like she traced a lot of the town names there. So when you look at the back, you'll see the town names. Back to front. And we are going to be giving this quilt away at the ride. And so if you're there, come by our booth and visit us and sign up to win the quilt.